Man, can't explain it. Just walking down these hallways, all those memories just start flooding back.
And it is caught because of a first down. Walk-off field goal, David Akers.
But this is a new team, and this team has been on an unbelievable journey so far. The miracles, the plays that blew your mind,
He can't be stopped. Firing. What a catch.
the trials that could have broken others. This city has been waiting on another team with heart like this one. So let's keep this train moving. Keep these memories growing so that we can do what this city believes we can do. Whatever it takes.
And it's intercepted. Touchdown. Decker. Jay Hill will get the kickoff. Was he hit? And the Eagles win.
This is our day because we're going to make it our day. We will stay together, and whatever it takes, let's make it happen! I'll do what it takes.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Philly Podcast, presented by SixPackCoverage.com, La Terrain Watches, and TheMonkey'sUncle.net. Chris, I gotta love it, man. I'm sorry. You get me so freaking hyped when you play that right before these shows, because it's playoff time. And, this Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we got the Eagles traveling to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Bucs. So, it's going down.
Listen, you can see me in the backstage getting all hype, doing the Rocky bounce, and it's Eagles playoff football. Like, who would have thought that we would be doing a podcast on the coverage of the Eagles playing in a playoff game with a rookie head coach and a second-year quarterback? Like, I know I wasn't when we signed with Six Pack a couple weeks ago. There was the talks of the playoffs. We were like, we'll do a couple shows, covering the NFL. Never thought we would be doing a wild card weekend ever.
No, not at all. I mean, I was one of the people that had the team, with 4 wins and, a rebuild year. They weren't really, I wasn't expecting them to do much like a lot of the so-called experts, which, by the way, everyone watching, I am not. I'm just some bar guy that wants to talk sports.
We don't get paid.
Yeah, right. Like this is just us.
But for the people who want to sit there and get paid for doing their job and predicting the Eagles to win 3 or 4 games, like Colin Cowherd and Chris Sims, I was right. I picked better than them.
You did. You absolutely did.
Everyone knows, in the beginning of the season, even in preseason, I wasn't high on Jalen.
Right, me neither.
It's and rightfully so because of his last 4 games, which we always allude to. But I was wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong about the wins. I was wrong about Jalen Hurts. Like, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. Like, I think that's where people get lost. I have no problem admitting that. Oh, you know what? Jalen Hurts threw 16 touchdowns this year. People will look at that. The haters of Jalen Hurts, because they still love the previous quarterback. They'll look at that and they'll be like, "Well, he only threw for 16." I'm like, "We ran for 10." I know you don't want your quarterback running 10 times, but when you have the ability to score, Tom Brady scores probably 3 or 4 touchdowns on quarterback sneaks.
Right.
A couple of, I think at least 4 of Hurts' touchdown are 1-yard sneaks. Like, I know he had 2 in one game, so I don't know what else you want. Like, but we're not here to talk about us being wrong. We're here to talk about the playoffs. Playoffs.
Yeah. Playoffs.
Right. It's. I want to give a little shout out too, because in the midst of the Eagles making the playoffs and everything else, the Sixers have a 7-game winning streak, and no one's talking about it.
No.
It's on the back burner, and this is when basketball really. It's when you, as a fan, you start to get serious after January. You're like, it is what it is. As long as your team doesn't have 3 wins going into the new year. It's fine. But these Sixers quietly have a 7-game winning streak, and no one's talking about it, which is fine. Whatever.
No, yeah, you're right. It's totally fine, and it goes to show you just how the Philadelphia Eagles run the sports in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
It usually, usually you could say that it depends on who's the hot team. It's if they're playing well, you're going to get people talking about the Flyers. You're playing well, they talk about the Phillies. Playing well, they talk most of the time. They talk about the Sixers until once football season hits, everyone else is like, "I'm sorry, the redheaded stepchild." No offense, Chris, but I'm just saying.
No, Philadelphia Eagles, it's the be all end all, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like
no.
Football's a monopoly because you only get it once a week. Your team only plays once a week. Or if you're like the Eagles, you play 3 games in 13 days. And then you're right. And then you wonder why Sirianni's rested his starters in week 18. Go play football three times in 13 days. That's every 4th day you're playing a really hard game and getting tackled.
And it's funny you say that too, because I think the Eagles, they played well in those games, right? And I think it has a lot to do with the fact where the youth factor really came into play for the Eagles in that span. If this was an actual veteran team, I think there would have been some issues.
Well, I'll disagree with you only because of how – if this was a veteran team, how did they approach it? Because they ran the ball.
Right.
When you run the ball, you don't put – as much as people think, you don't put that much pressure on your body as opposed to run ball, as opposed to pass blocking. So, and I think him running the ball played a big part, like you said, in the youth factor, like keeping up. Like you would hope that if we had older guys, with the exception of Kelsey, who's a goddamn beast,
he don't stop.
Again, I'm gonna go back. We'll go back to the youth in a minute. But if you get a chance, go on YouTube and look up his speech. It was ridiculous. It makes you.
Yeah.
I want to run through. Well, not this year's speech, not the Super Bowl speech.
Oh yeah. No, that one. Yeah, that one that he gave just a couple weeks ago was amazing.
We know it's a long shot, but imagine if they win. If they go and they win the Super Bowl, imagine his speech then. He might have a heart attack on live TV.
I'm actually. I would love to see what he comes dressed in this time. How can you top the Mummer's outfit this time?
I would just go naked. I would just.
He'd show up in a Speedo.
No one or a Speedo, or naked or a Speedo. No one's gonna judge him. Everyone's gonna be like, "That's my center." Usually people are like, "That's my quarterback." No, we're gonna be like, "That's my center. That's my center, man."
Yeah, well, I want them to win. I would love him to get one more home game, even in the playoffs. Get a home game in the playoffs.
It'll never happen.
I know it won't happen. I would love to have it.
I just don't want to see him retire. I think if they're successful in the playoff, he comes back one more year.
He might.
Because you got to think, if say the Eagles go out and win 2 games,
okay,
even 1 game, and the second game they lose, it's a close game, or whatever. But you got to think free agents are going to want to come here.
Yeah, I mean, with the way they played, with how Sirianni coached his team, and you could see something good building over, during the Saints game and after that, you could see that there was something really good building. He watered the flowers and they were blooming. So, I would absolutely think that people would want to come here because they're going to look at the play of the young quarterback. They're going to look at this offensive line. They're going to look at, Devontae Smith. People are going to want to come here. Even defensive players, they're going to look at it and say, hey, this offense has a chance to be really special. Another full season with these young guys, it could happen. It could absolutely happen.
So you say Devontae Smith. You don't think free agents will look at J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and be like, I want to go there because of that guy?
Oh, you mean the guy that just got put on injured reserve for the playoffs?
Did he?
Yeah,
Dude,
injured
I would
reserve.
trade him for a $5 gift card to ShopRite just so I can buy all my cans because it's the can sale at ShopRite. I would trade him for a $5 gift card.
The can't sell shop,
Like
right?
again, JJ. I said it in the last show when we did a recap of the Eagles Dallas game. JJ Arcega-Whiteside makes me believe that anybody on social media can play professional football.
Pretty much.
Because I know I can drop a wide open pass, and I know I can drop a wide open pass. Offensive pass interference, I don't know because they're just built differently, and they might wreck me as I try to do it. But I can at least try. I can hold on to their jersey. I get called for a holding call. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, he did today. They placed him on injured reserve, so he's. I assume that he's that's done for the playoffs. I mean, because what? So, which I don't care. I mean, now we're going to get to see more of Greg Ward, and we're going to get to see more of him, who I trust more than Whiteside. So,
I trust
now
JJ from Good Times before I trust JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
I trust. My God, I trust Rod from What's Happening more than him. So whatever. So all right. So now getting down to it, talking about this playoff game. I think the percentage that the Eagles have to win this game, I think it's a 60-40 in favor of the Bucs, just for the Brady factor. But that could change during the game, depending on how this is played out. I mean, Brady's at the point in his.
Chairman, we don't really hate the Giants. The only thing I hate is that you guys fired Joe Judge. That's really it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I hate. That's the only thing I hate. I mean, anybody who wants to do a QB sneak on their own 4-yard line at 3rd and 9.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to see that every year. But
well, hold on. You see that and you're like, I guess an announcer, like, what goes through your mind as an announcer when you see that live and you're just like,
oh, I don't know, man. I don't know what I would have done if I was actually calling the game. I may have resigned right there as an announcer. Like, hey, I know you're paying me to watch this, but I'm out. I can't call this stuff.
The fact that it took till Tuesday to fire this dude and Brian Flores got fired yesterday, that dude, I think he literally could sell. I don't know what he could sell because I don't know how he did it, to be honest.
The fact that Brian Flores got fired, that's crazy. And I, from what I understand, he already interviewed with the Bears.
He's gonna get a job.
Like
he was 3-1. He was 3-1 against Bill Belichick. I don't think people realize how important
that is. That's very important.
Is. Like, you beat the GOAT.
Yeah, you did. You beat the guy, and see, I can't see Darth Pooh. He breaks down here for the people that'll be listening on the podcast. He commented Brian Flores for Eagles defensive coordinator.
Oh, listen, I would take it in a heartbeat, but the dude's a head coach.
He's a head coach. He's not.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Flores and Doug are going to get hired in the next week, and probably Cooper Rush next Monday when the Cowboys lose to the 49ers. So that's
here we go.
Listen, I know we're talking about the Eagles.
That definitely could happen.
That's going to be the best game of the weekend. They haven't played in the playoffs since 1995.
Yeah, that's going
crazy.
Right.
And think about the epicness, like the history there with their playoffs, with when they went back and forth, from the NFC, and it's been 25 years. Like, wow.
Right.
But yeah, so let's get to the Eagles and Tampa Bay. Eagles are a 9-point favorite.
No, Tampa Bay.
I'm sorry, they're a 9-point underdog. The over and under is 49. This is just like, I got to take the unders. I think I'm listen, you know how I am. I'm not betting against. I'm not a guy who bets against the GOAT. But there's just something there about Tampa Bay. Like if Gannon and Sirianni sit down with the defense and look at the New Orleans game, like, they shut that dude out.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have Godwin. Gronk's banged up. And like, if you watch the game on Sunday when they played Carolina, like, they were sweating profusely. And I know it's hot in Tampa Bay, but I think age is gonna play a factor. And I think the Eagles are gonna whatchamacallit. I think the Eagles are gonna run the ball. It looks like they're gonna have Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders back,
Sanders.
which that offensive line is like, you saw what the backups did to Dallas. Now you got to look at what the starters can do. They're an old front too, with the exception of a couple like the linebacker who's really good. Their defense was scored upon a lot this year.
German, you know, I don't want to look. I'm trying to stay away from talking about the Giants because I like this tonight show isn't about the whole NFC East. But dude, Joe Judge is horrible. You can say whatever you want about he inherited a disaster. Guess what? He took the job and he himself was a disaster. So there's nothing you can defend after that that QB sneak play. There's reports coming out of New York that players like running routes just stopped running during the game. Like they actively gave up on the coach. So I don't want to hear that he inherited a disaster.
You know who inherited a disaster was Doug Peterson in 2016.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did.
And how he undid everything, traded, and it still had stuff to build on, and we got that.
Okay, well, enough about
Okay.
the Giants. They're
all right,
completely irrelevant right now.
so that's not. I get what you're saying, but yeah. So we got Tampa Bay. 49 is the over. And like I said, Eagles are a 9-point underdog. That's a lot for a playoff game. Like I don't care who you are. That's a lot.
And you know what? I'm taking the Eagles on that too. I'm completely taking the Eagles. I'm taking the unders. Um, but no, I think you're right though. I think age is going to play into this for in the Eagles' favor in this game because, like you mentioned, Godwin's gone, Gronk's beat up, Leonard Fournette's going to try and give it a go. He's got a messed up hamstring, so he's going to try and give it a shot. Their linebacker, I forget his name. I think it was he's banged up, like their main linebacker.
Well, that and Nick Foles will be on the sideline.
Yeah. So there's a lot. Oh, and Antonio Brown's going on his CTE tour right now, trashing Tom Brady. So, I mean, it's literally that team coming into the playoffs is a mess. Like internally, they have injuries, but they have a lot going on. Bruce Arians, apparently the text messages between him and AB that AB leaked out. Like, there's a lot going on in Tampa Bay right now, and I don't know how they come out of it. But again, like you just said a little bit ago, don't bet against Brady. Don't bet against the GOAT. So with that, I'm saying the 60-40 percentage that Tampa Bay still comes out ahead. But I can't put it past the Eagles winning this game though. I can't. With the way they've been playing and how hot they've been, I can't. I can't put it past them. So I'm truly excited to be able to talk about playoff football and them actually have a chance against Tom Brady.
So Mike Dunbar chimes in and says Evans looked unstoppable, which is fine.
Yeah.
But Darius Slay only has to worry about him. Like let's be like the rest of the corners. Like there's no Chris Godwin. Scotty Miller is he's okay, and the other receivers, as banged up as Gronk is, with his 7 catches. I think he had like 7 catches for 130 yards last week. Right. I don't know if he had a touchdown, but he's still old.
Yeah, he's still older and he's banged up.
He's still older. He's banged up. So you could sit there and say he didn't look it on Sunday, Mike, but he does. And you're right. Tom Brady knows how to win in the playoffs.
And with Mike's comment about Evans, like I think we mentioned it in the last show.
He's hurt too.
He's hurt, but he's also one of those guys that quietly puts up 1,000 yards every year. Like, and no one realizes it. And then when you look at his end of the year stats, you're like, he got over 1,000 yards. Feels like you never hear his name anymore, but yet he gets the yards, he gets the catches. So, but yeah, I mean, but Evans, is probably, well, I don't know, Evans. Maybe Gronk is going to be his best weapon for the game. And that's the other thing. At this stage in Brady's career, like they're not playing, a 25-year-old Tom Brady, 26, 27-year-old Tom Brady now who could literally just will a team to win just by stepping onto the field. Now you're talking about a guy that is relying a little bit more on his weapons, even though, like understandably so, he has had an amazing season. It's because of those weapons he had around him. Chris Godwin was probably the biggest piece that he had. On the ground helping him was Leonard Fournette, and he got hurt. So he's coming back banged up. But his biggest weapon, well, his two biggest weapons between Godwin and receiving wise, Godwin and AB. A lot of people are giving AB a lot of crap, but he was really important to that passing offense. And he's not there now. He's just off the team, and Godwin's hurt. That could really play into some playoff debauchery, basically.
Yeah, and another thing that you got to put into effect is the last time that they had a bye week was Halloween.
Yeah, they've been playing a long time.
Like that could play a factor into fatigue plays a factor.
Yeah, I mean, and it's definitely a factor when you have a veteran team. That's why it's so important to have a late bye week when you have a veteran team. And the fact that the Eagles had a late bye week with a young team, I look. I don't want to pump my chest too much, but I do feel good about the game. I'm not gonna say confident. I feel good. I mean, I
Yeah,
still take.
of course I want the Eagles to win, and I think they're going to pull off a miracle. But again, it's any given Sunday.
Yeah. And on paper, yeah, all right. Tampa Bay has the edge in quarterback on paper. Okay. Now, how they play out on the field, yeah, you're not going to see Brady running around like Jalen Hurts. So it could even out. You don't know. I still take. I don't know. I still take Mike Evans over Devontae Smith.
Of course I do.
You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, Gronk's like the goat of tight ends. Going up against Dallas Goedert and whoever they're going to get off the street to sign as the other tight end.
Be Richard Rodgers.
Richard Rodgers. Oh God, I'm so mad. I'm so upset about Tyree Jackson.
So here we go. So Mike Dunbar comments and says we won't be able to stop. No, not that one. I'm sorry. We won't be run against Vita Vea. The same thing was said against New Orleans, and we took the number one. We took the number one rushing defense and made it look like I was playing linebacker.
They were Swiss cheese that day.
So just don't saying you won't be able to run against a team.
You can't.
You can't say that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Look at the Giants in 2007 and 2010. Look at other teams who got hot. Like you can't sit there and say you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. Why? Why? Like, tell me why. And just because he's this, he's that. I don't think people realize how good the Eagles' offensive line is. Take away Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Take away everything else. Our biggest accomplishment and our biggest strength is our offensive line. So you want to sit there and you want to say we won't be able to do this, we won't be able to do that. Well, why can't we? Our line could be an all-pro if we really wanted to be. Landon Dickerson has played out of his mind. Jeff Stoutland is a goddamn miracle worker.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Mailata is a beast. So as you want to sit there and say, you won't stop Vea, will Hurts be able to pull off a miracle? Tom Brady knows how to win in the playoffs. Well, we have a great offensive line. Our line is better than Tom Brady's. I'll tell you that right now. I'll take anybody on our offensive line against anybody else in the playoffs. Anybody else in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Our line's really good. We're very suspect after that. It's like a whoop. You win again. We've said it. Everybody says it. You win games in the trenches. That's where it's won.
Yep.
And if you can win games in the trenches, You don't need to do anything else. That's where it's won. When you control the clock and when you keep Brady off the field, that's huge. And that defense in Tampa is going to,
Yeah.
they're old. You got Sue. Don't you have the eight-finger JPP still on there?
Yeah, he's still there with his clubbed hand. So, but yeah, no, I mean you're exactly right. It's
42-17. I did 6 shots last week. I'll guarantee you the Eagles don't lose by 20.
wow. That's a
And how's Tampa going to make Hurts' arm beat them? How? Like, are you going to stop the run? I just said how good our offensive line is.
I mean, look, that's how they will. If they win, that's how they are going to beat us. Though they're going to have to take the game out of the. They're going to have to take the ground game out and force Jalen Hurts to throw. Which, that would then okay, fine. If you have to put the game on Jalen Hurts' arm, all right, I'm still suspect about. I'm still suspect about his passing game, even though he's been getting better the last couple of weeks. Like the last few weeks, he's been a better pocket passer. He's been making all of his reads. He's been getting to his check down. So I like the progression that I've seen from Jalen Hurts in his passing game. But this is going to be the test. If it comes down to his passing game, to his arm, this is going to be the test on his maturement and development.
All right, so there's a couple things that I want to get into. Yes, Devontae Smith is the second best route runner in the league. We know that.
Yeah, I'll give that.
And Brady's still.
Oh, Brady definitely is still mad over that. Darth Pooh again with a great comment. Brady is still mad over Philly. Absolutely.
Yeah, we had the same offensive line when Hurts was tossing it up, which I get, but they've changed. He had that one bad game against the Giants, like during their winning streak. Like, they went away from, running the ball. So let's just get away. Let's get away from Hurts' arm right now, because it's a weak take. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The Hurts' arm is a weak take. There's plenty of quarterbacks in the league whose arm is less than Jalen Hurts. So I'm like, did Jalen Hurts hate for a guy who led the team to the playoffs? And again, I gave him heat. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He doesn't have to throw it far. You know what he has to do? He's got to hit Dallas Goedert on a 5-yard hitch and then let Dallas Goedert get the yak. Like, because if you get him out in the open field 1-on-1, there isn't anybody covering him.
Yeah,
right? I'm sorry, there isn't anyone tackling him. I'm sorry, not covering.
Yeah, the run game has completely helped. Excuse me. The run game has completely helped Jalen Hurts' game in overall.
Who? I got a cough. Take this one.
Okay, so let's see. Y'all don't want Hurts as your starting QB, but now he's ready to lead y'all into the playoffs. Well, he did lead us into the playoffs. That's what do you want? See, okay, I get it. You're upset, Big Blue. I get it. All right, but bro, German, seriously. Mike JJ's not even going to play because they put him on IR. So he's completely gone. He's captain irrelevant for this team right now. But no, it's as the season progresses, you start to see the development of Jalen Hurts. You're starting to see how he's playing. Okay, all right. So I don't know what else to tell you, German. It goes hand in hand with fandom. It just goes hand in hand. When you see bad play, you make. I don't think he's going to be the reason that the Eagles lose. But if they do lose, okay, and it comes down to him, like if he's stinking up the game, that's a different story. But go ahead, Chris. What?
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Because there isn't a quarterback who is worth drafting in this year's draft.
For everyone's listening on the podcast,
you can go on in a minute. You are 100% wrong. There isn't one, unless you're going to trade me a first-round pick for Russell Wilson. I am on record as saying Jalen Hurts gets his team for 2022.
Yeah, I mean everyone's been saying that if they make the playoffs, Jalen Hurts is your quarterback in 2022. Now, last week I'm gonna admit this. I said, because it's on the podcast, that you can find on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, the Philly podcast. I said if he plays bad, it's going to open up the can of worms again of is he going to be is he the guy going forward?
You're 100% right.
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to, because right now there are still reports that Howie Roseman still isn't fully on board with Jalen Hurts. After the way he's been playing, I don't know how you can't be backing Jalen Hurts. I don't know how you can say anything bad about Jalen Hurts.
I swear to God, if he trades a pick to move up and drafts a quarterback, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
if Howie Roseman isn't set on Jalen Hurts, and if they lose and it's a complete blowout, and Jalen Hurts has like the worst, I mean, the absolute worst showing in the playoffs for a starting quarterback in the history of the NFL, or whatever, just has a bad game, Howie Roseman is going to probably really look into moving on. I mean, because there's reports on it that he's still not on him, that he's still not hit. It doesn't feel like that he could be the guy. And that goes back to when we were saying, when they originally drafted Jalen Hurts, he actually was not drafted to be the starter. I mean, you just had that extension kick in for the previous quarterback. So he wasn't in the immediate plans for at least 3 years. And as events unfolded, this is where we're at now. And the guy is playing very good. So
Done.
Michael Dunbar puts down $10 bet with you, Chris. Eagles plus 14. I'll take the Bucks. And Chris said, done. Chris is willing to do it. All right, exchange Venmos, do all your things.
Absolutely not. He's going to come to my house, and he's going to be wearing a Tom Brady Bucs jersey, and he's going to give me my $10.
Yeah. So, but honestly, there's still a bunch of reports out there that Howie Roseman's not sold on him, and people have I was listening to 97.5, and one of the guys on their morning show said that they spoke with an NFL GM who told him that he would absolutely love to have Jalen Hurts on his team. So, hey, if someone, I don't even want to think about that right now, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at the positives here, and we got people talking about Jalen Hurts being traded already. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. Can we just focus on the fact that this team came from out of nowhere? No one gave them a chance, and look where they're at.
Hold on real quick. I just had to play.
The third touchdown of the Jalen Hurts touchdown game versus the Saints
with the number one run defense. All right, so we're gonna go to commercial real quick so that I can cool off, and Eric's fine, but I'm gonna stab every single one in the face.
I love the fact that we got 54 comments. I love it.
Especially Mike Dunbar. So
yeah, Dunbar's awesome.
He is. I love him.
They say every watch tells a story. Family, moments, lifetimes. With La Touraine, this is a watch that spans generations, not just from where it came from, but for where it will go. Knowing one of these, having one of these, is what being a professional, being casual, and being you is all about. From our family to yours, La Touraine.
All right. Thank you, La Touraine Watches, for being a sponsor of the Philly podcast, presented by sixpackcoverage.com.
Thank you, Job Martin.
Job Martin. Side note, the Eagles need to just stick to the run. Look what they did to the Saints' #1 run defense. Also, the Bucks' run D is getting worse over the last few weeks because of injuries. And Job Martin is 100% right. So there, and again, I don't want to, you know, you know, beat my chest or anything, but I want to just say that I'm feeling good. Okay, I'm not. I can't say anything more. Um, yeah, oh my goodness. I'm just excited, and I don't want to overdo it because I don't want to get myself all hyped up because at the end of the day, there was still a Philadelphia team that looked like complete ass for 6 weeks.
They're playing on house money.
Exactly. You're right. They are playing on house money. And if they lose, I want it to be competitive. I don't want it to be like weeks 1 through 6 with that kind of play. I mean, but if they do lose, I can't really be upset. Like you said, house money. They weren't given any chance to be where they're at. So I can't I really cannot say anything, bad. I really can't. Like this season's a win, a complete win, no matter what happens on Sunday. This season's a win. That's how I looked at it. Oh, and Darth Pooh, you have in our comment section here, in a world la terrain. Is he asking like what in the world is la terrain?
No, he knows what it is. He's just
Oh, okay. By the way, they have very good watches. If you know someone that likes watches, I would say go to laterrain.com and use code CEV for site-wide discounts. So, um, but yeah, so I am. I'm just looking forward to this game. Like you said, house money. Just have fun with it. So let's see. What Michael Dunbar, he comments in. You know what? I hope the Eagles win. So my main man, my homie Aaron Rodgers, sets a record for most points in the playoffs next week. That's
a
funny.
good. I'll give him that one. That's pretty funny. Excuse my language. It's pretty damn funny.
That is funny. That
I'll
that
give
is
it a.
good. I love it. But oh man. So yeah, but I'm like I said, I think it's a 60. I still get, like I said, a 60-40 split. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean the money line. The money line's a plus 320. For the Eagles. So it's not a high money line. Don't like that's a high money line. Like
Right.
that's it's it's not a high money line. I'm like if you bet $10, you win 30.
Yeah, right.
That's not a good line. The Buccaneers are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games as home favorites.
Mm-hmm.
That's against the spread.
Right.
The Eagles are 10-1 in their last 11 games as a playoff underdog. That's ridiculous. like what
That
the
is
hell?
stupid ridiculous.
Like that's insane. That's a ridiculous stat. So, but now, so we got the Eagles. I'll go crazy. I'll give you a predict. I'll give you a prediction. Eagles 27, Buccaneers 24. Right at the 51 points.
Well, I mean
They're not losing. They're not losing by 14 points. I'd be shocked if they lose by 14 points.
I would be shocked too. I mean,
and I'm basing this off of the healthy offensive line. That's exactly what my pick's based off is that they're going to control the game in the trenches. If Sirianni somehow throws the ball 43 times because he's like, I'm not running it, and we lose by 3, I'm going to burn his house down.
See, that's what I don't want him to do, though. I don't want him to like change the game plan up because he's in the playoffs. It's just stick to what got you there. Don't go back to that stuff. Oh God, see, that's what scares me because Andy Reid would do that when he was here.
Yeah,
he would change his whole style of coaching in the playoffs, and it would drive me nuts. He really would.
Yeah. By the way, there's 2 anniversaries today.
Okay. What do we got?
4th and 26. and Des Bryant's catch. Oh wait, it wasn't a catch.
Oh man, you had to bring that up.
Absolutely
Oh my
wasn't a
goodness.
catch. Everyone's like, it was a catch. That day it wasn't.
Well, see, the thing that makes me laugh about Cowboys fans and talking about that play, they will fight to the death about it to this day when it has no effect now on the outcome of what happened on that day. It's like they're living in a real live Lost episode and they're in limbo going back and forth, in purgatory over that catch, hoping that they're going to come out of purgatory and they're going to suddenly win the game or they blip in the Avengers 7 years ago and now they're back and all of a sudden here we are, like Thanos snapped his fingers and they're back. So it's like it kills me. And it's like I understand at that time they may or look, I'm going to say I'm for the sake of the conversation say they got screwed because the NFL came out a while later, like 3 years later, and said that they got it wrong. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But enough's enough. It happened. You can't replay the game. Like I said again, unless they're following Captain America through the quantum realm and putting all the gemstones back in place. No, stop. Forget it. It's over and done with.
And let's not realize that Aaron Rodgers had the ball with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left.
Exactly. Like that's giving him a lot of time to come back and march down the field and still win anyway. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, but the anniversary of the catch or not catch is just hysterical because of the memes, the pictures of Des Bryant like holding his head screaming. I just find that funny because all you got to do is put that up on some Dallas fans' wall, and that's it. Mind blown. They're done. They're triggered.
Here's what happens when they sit there and say that was a catch.
And
Uh-oh.
assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
Throwing little Des Bryants out the window. Oh, gosh. I love it. It's too funny.
Yeah, so, but, no, that was,
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah, so so Sunday's game's at 1:00, so thank God for that.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been 8:00 on Saturday, which I'm glad it's not because I think I'm going to go see the new Scream movie. But yeah, man, it's.
By the way, the new Scream movie, is that strictly in theaters?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what I said. I was so mad.
Damn.
I was like,
Damn you, HBO Max.
I know. I was like, come on. And I'm like I'm so hyped with Halloween Kills was on. I'm like, I don't have to go out and deal with society. But I went and saw Ghostbusters Afterlife because my kids wanted to see it, and me and my wife want to go see the new Scream movie. I'm like, all right, I'll go deal with society. Nah.
That's too funny. Oh, completely off topic of the Eagles Bucks playoff preview here. I saw a tweet earlier that next season Amazon is taking over the Thursday night games, and they are bringing in Marshawn Lynch to be an analyst.
God, that's going to be the greatest. Now,
gold.
Darth Pooh can answer this. Isn't games already on Amazon Prime? Darth, I feel like some of them are, maybe it's like a couple, but I thought they were. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch is going to be gold.
He's going to be amazing. He's one of the best characters ever in the NFL. And I mean, could you imagine if like the announcer asked him a question he don't like, he just won't talk. He just won't answer.
He'll start eating the Skittles. Who was it? It was Joe Buck when he trolled Peyton Manning when he said about how bad a game was. He was like, "Yeah, your Super Bowl against the Seahawks." Remember that? That was a couple weeks ago.
That was a couple weeks ago.
When you ever wanted, he's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to get up and leave." Yeah, select games because I think Amazon Prime had 2 females do it, and they were pretty good. The 2 girls who did the Amazon games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That's right. It was the first time ever that two females actually they covered and called an NFL game. That's right. That's right. I do remember hearing that because I don't have Amazon Prime, so I didn't know.
No. And it's because what was the other one? And then Slime Weekend. So you got the games on Nickelodeon.
Oh, jeez.
Do you remember last year? Was it
Yes.
last or 2 years ago
I
when
think
they
it
had the Bears and Saints on, and you could clearly hear the Bears player drop an F-bomb on Nickelodeon? I'm like, can't bleep that out.
I love it. I love it on Nickelodeon. Like, yep, okay, no dump button for them.
No, you can't dump anything live from Nickelodeon on a football game.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You won't see them. Nickelodeon will never do an Eagles game, a home Eagles game. Never. Because can you imagine what you would pick up in the? We had a lady call. Remember the lady, Mary from Delco, when she was at the Saints game. We all know what she said. Like,
Right. Oh,
like,
that was beautiful.
like, can you imagine a Nickelodeon? Mommy, what did that Eagles say? Oh, Jesus Christ! We'll get we already have the worst history in the world. Now it'll just keep adding to it. Nickelodeon will be like, "Oh my God, did you hear what happened at the Eagles game?" And everybody at Fox will be like, "Yeah, we know that. That's why we do it." Come on. Why do you think we go to Eagles? We love it when Eagles fans go nuts.
Oh God, yeah. You kidding? People antagonize us just to get so they can get the next story.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm gonna go to 27. I'm saying 27-24. I'll go with an Eagles win. I'll go with a Jake Elliott walk-off field goal. Think about that. But I'm going to turn the tunes to something. Did anyone see the video of the Eagles fan and a Dallas fan fighting?
I did see that.
So Mike Dunbar puts up on the screen. Did you talk about the Eagles fan kicking the hell out of the Cowboys fan kicking hell out of the Eagles fan? That dude, that Eagles fan, is definitely undefeated on Fortnite.
Yes.
Because he did not know how to square and put his hands up. It was tiring. Like, you're letting, like, the fights in the preseason. Like, you would have thought this guy had 18 weeks to train, watching all the fights that were happening in the beginning of the season, and he was like this. Like, what?
Yeah, and he was doing the speed bag thing too. Like he was doing the speed bag thing too as he was backing away. I was like, oh. As soon as I saw how he squared up, I was like, oh, he's catching it. I was like, this guy's not going to do well.
Oh, and he caught it.
Oh, he did.
So,
he really did.
What's up, Philly 5000?
Yo, what's going on, my man?
I don't. He's Zach Galifianakis. I think Zach. What's his name? Galifianakis from The Hangover.
Looks like Zach Galifianakis on his avatar there. That's pretty funny though.
So, I'm kind of curious what he's gonna say, because I feel like he was on earlier, and I think I'm talking about earlier in the season. I think this is the gentleman who didn't like us criticizing Hurts for his bad play in the first 7 games. I could be wrong. If you remember,
I don't remember who that was.
Right. I want to say it was him.
No, Eagles Fly. Eagle Fly.
But he might have changed his name.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wondering if that's him.
Oh, I don't know.
But, if Philly 5000, if you're him, listen, we're supposed to criticize the quarterback when they play bad. Are we not?
Yeah. And we both said, if he proves us wrong, we welcome it. Like, we want him to, because we want the team to do good.
But do you think I want to sit there and, like, just lose my mind every week because my quarterback sucks? All right, so it ain't him. All right. So
okay,
good.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Thanks for joining us, Philly 5000. I guess Fly Eagles Fly is mad at us still.
Oh, he probably said, I'm not watching you guys ever again. Because it's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sit here and look like the Detroit Lions. That's what I don't want. And guess what? It didn't happen. The quarterback proved us wrong. He got us. He got us to the playoffs. He proved us wrong.
He's a supporter of Minshew Mania. Oh, okay. All
right. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
listen, we all love Gardner Minshew. Like, listen, he's a character. He's perfect for Philadelphia. He wasn't built for Jacksonville. Again, it just goes back to this fan base loves backup quarterbacks, and we love Minshew Mania. Listen, I'm a fan of Minshew. I think
I am too.
Nobody's going to say a bad word about Minshew Mania.
No. You like characters, and Philly's a town filled with characters, so he fits right in.
And you
So
know what? This John Martin has hit it on the point to the people earlier. Hurts has improved every single game this year with
he has.
looking down receivers and looking at his first read and the second read instead of the first read and running. He's looking at his first read. He's looking at his second read. Like, go back to the play to Greg Ward a couple weeks ago. What the hell was that about?
Yeah. I mean, and that was my biggest complaint about Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the season, because he was literally, it
One
wasn't
read and
even,
gone.
Yeah, one read gone. And I was like, no, don't do that, And that's when people start comparing him to Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, oh yeah, but you know what? You're comparing him to Lamar Jackson, but he's an MVP. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
and
And he's not as fast as Lamar Jackson. And that's
Lamar
the thing is
Jackson's
like
fast.
and that's the thing. Jalen Hurts was going out to the right and only getting 3 or 4 yards. If that dude was getting 6, 7 yards and stepping out of bounds, it would have been one thing. But he wasn't. And he improved his game every single week. Sirianni took them flowers, spread them out, and expanded the offense.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like the runs. Like, you can't tell me teams don't know that the Eagles are going to run the ball. And now it's like, oh, well, shit, we got to stop this. But what we can't, because our offensive line is healthy. Like, no one played on Saturday night. You know how important 8 days off? 8 days.
It is. Now, see, you just said something that is, to me, stands out a little bit, because now we're into the playoffs. You would imagine that when you hit the playoffs, it's better competition. Okay, so the Bucs know that the Eagles are going to be running the football. Now, say maybe they do decide to just try and stuff the run as much as they can, and make Hurts throw. Like I said, he's improved. I'm still a little iffy on him on some things, not a lot, but it'll be interesting if they do that. If they stuff the run and he has to throw, it's going to turn into an interesting game.
So here's my thing before we end our show. Here's my thing on how the Eagles can win the game.
Oh, by the way, Philly 5000, that comment is absolutely perfect.
Everybody hates. There isn't anybody who in the world who was like, I love this pick.
Well, no, because you took a high quality pick in the second round, and you took a project, which at that moment in time, like I said, you just signed the extension for the other quarterback was kicking in. Looking at it, you didn't need to do that. You could have had your linebacker, could have had a defensive player, and that was the route that the Eagles took. But Philly 5000, you're exactly right. Like, I couldn't stand that pick, because I thought the second round, that high of a pick is not where you take a project quarterback who's going to sit for 3 years and evaluate where your current quarterback is. And okay, well, now do we pay this kid? I think he was totally picked to be a cheap backup, and they liked what they saw out of him. Said, we're going to take him, be a cheap backup. That's, honest to God, that's why I think they originally took him. And thank God, like you said, it doesn't matter today. Hurts is our guy. Now, hopefully, he can help us win Sunday. Philly 5000, you said it perfect.
So we, so I'm gonna give you who a key player is going to be in the Eagles game.
Okay.
So obviously, we got Sanders, we got Howard, we got Boston Scott, who's, a key player in the receiving game. Now that he's gone and on IR, a key player is going to be Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's going to line up in the slot. He's going to get a lot of snaps.
Yeah, and I mean, he played well the other night versus Dallas. He played very well.
14 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. I think that's what you told me.
Yeah. I mean, he played well against a good Dallas team, and that's another reason why I hope that God Sirianni just sticks with the run game. Put him out there. Have Howard or Jordan. Have Jordan Howard or Miles Sanders back there. It could spell a lot of issues. And you can't forget the fact, you got Jalen Hurts that can roll on out, take plays for him. Um, my over under is what's your over under on Miles Sanders actually finishing the game?
He isn't going to finish the game. He might score his first touchdown of the season in the playoffs. That dude could not. Like, they tried so hard to get that dude a touchdown.
They did, and he's the only thing that he's got the talent, he's got the ability, he just can't stay healthy. And I'm glad he's going to be. I'm glad it's a playoff game. He's coming back, but you want to talk about someone that I have no confidence in with his health wise. I have less confidence in him than I did for Carson Wentz.
Hey, listen, he's healthier than Saquon Barkley.
True, that is true. He's healthier than Leonard Fournette, who they're most likely going to see someday.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. It's like the Eagles got all these running backs who don't have a lot of mileage on them this year.
That is also true. That is also true. And for a long stretch of time, Gainwell was in the doghouse.
And I don't get it. I don't know why. I feel like he started out the year strong, which is fine. Whatever. Kelsey's jockstrap is starting for JJ this week. I'd still take it.
I'll still take that.
It's amazing how much I hate that dude.
Yeah, that's
the dude who's got to get booed and again, I'm against booing. We go through this every week. I'm against booing. That dude needs to get booed right out of Philadelphia.
I know. I agree. So let's see here. We're gonna
congratulations, JJ. You jumped the list amongst Ben Simmons. That's impressive.
My goodness. So okay, let me JJ Ortega Whiteside. Okay. Summary for 2021: 16 games, 2 catches, 36 yards, no touchdowns. Career: 40 games, 16 receptions, 290 yards, and 1 touchdown. And if you remember correctly, that 1 touchdown wasn't even a reception.
It was a fumble recovery.
So this guy has played in 40 NFL games and has yet to actually catch a receiving touchdown or have more than 2 touchdowns, more than 1.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a blown pick.
I was just about to say what Darth Pooh said. He makes me, well, I don't say likable, but he makes me appreciate Jalen Reagor.
He really does. But I'm still out on Reagor. Like, they have to replace him. They have to get rid of him after the season. I don't know if someone's going to take him. He's probably just going to be back on the team again. But they have to. He's the reason why they're.
Use him as a punt returner. He's not a bad punt returner. He's not a bad punt returner. There we go.
No, you're right. He's not. See, but
other than that, I don't want to see him in the field. I don't want to see him.
But him and Whiteside are the reason that you need to sign a veteran wide receiver in the offseason. Yeah. I know a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, you're really high on Quez Watkins. What's he really done?" I just want him for his speed. I want him to be the over-the-top guy, to spread out the defense, like to pull the defense away. Because if he's getting open, Hurts is going to try for him. He's going to throw to him. So you have your over-the-top guy. You have your flat-out stud in Smith. Just give me that slot receiver. Give me that guy that's going to, help take that slot or the middle of the field away, help with Dallas Goedert. Can you give us a decent slot receiver? This offense is going to be crazy good.
No, I said punt returner. I didn't say kick returner. They're 2 different positions. He's a much better punt returner. As difficult as punt returning is, Jalen Reagor is a really good punt returner. He's not very good at kickoffs. And I don't understand how players are like that. Like, if you just go back and see, like, there's very rarely do you see a punt returners, or do you see, and they're the same person. The only one, if you can go back and really think of, was Devin Hester did both. Dante Hall did both.
Yeah,
that was it. Rarely does a team, and then I don't want to bring it up.
What?
The comment by Philly 5000 is 100% right. It makes me shudder. Yeah, put it up. It's nothing bad.
Okay, so Philly 5000. Here it is. What we got here? Oh my God, guys! When we were up to pick, I was so excited that we're getting Justin Jefferson, and then how we thought he could outsmart everyone. SMFH, and before that, easy pick was DK and gets J. Well,
So hold on. So obviously we all know that. So the easy pick wasn't DK. DK's biggest problem was DK Metcalf is, and I don't believe he was too big to be like. If you look at his combine numbers, his muscle outline, his muscles were too big, and in the NFL, that's an easy injury.
well,
He hasn't done it. He hasn't gotten hurt yet.
no. Well, see that was another knock on him though. Coming out of college, he had an injury. I think it was a back injury.
Yes.
And a lot of teams were afraid of that, and like you said, okay, it was a back injury, but he was also really big. He's a big dude. That's a big frame, all that pressure on his back. So I don't know. So I think a lot of teams were like shied away from him because of that. And dude, I heard someone talking today on Sports Talk that why don't we use one of those first round picks to trade for DK Metcalf? And I was like, I don't want him on this team. I don't want DK Metcalf here.
Yeah, there was listen. There was a lot of talk about DK Metcalf, but let's get back to the Eagles. So the Eagles' success is going to be the O-line and the run game. Kenneth Gainwell is going to be my wild card pick, for player of the game. I think he's going to have a big game. I think the rookie from Memphis is going to load it up. Well, not load it up, but I think he's going to have a decent game. He could be that. Now that JJ's out, there's legit no reason for that dude to not be on the field.
There's no reason for him to not be in the game. Yeah.
So I'm like I said, I'm going to stick to 27-24 with a walk-off field goal by Jake Elliott.
I'm going to say 30-27 Tampa Bay.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think
as long as those 27s isn't mop up points, like we're down 10 going into the fourth quarter,
right,
and we score a touchdown, with 3 seconds left in the game, and it's like, oh well, that game,
right? So
pretty funny.
Breakout
Rager game with positive. This is the life of a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Is Jalen Rager is our number 2 receiver.
Well, yeah, that sucks. So that does.
But all right,
really...
so you got 30-27. I got 27-24 with a walk-off field goal. I also got the Eagles plus 14 on a $10 bet with Mr. Mike Dunbar. And I don't know, does anything else? Anybody say? Like, anybody got anything else? Anything? Bueller?
No, unless people want to give Chris shot bets, he's all for that. So,
So I'm going to play 2 videos. One's for my boy Tyree, and then you will end up with the other one. Hold on.
Man, I can't explain it. Just walking down these hallways, all those memories just start flooding back.
And it is caught. It's a walk-off field goal. David Akers.
But this is a new team, and this team has been on an unbelievable journey so far. The miracles,
61 yards.
the plays that blew your mind,
He can't be stopped. Firing. What a catch.
the trials that could have broken others. This city has been waiting on another team with heart like this one. So let's keep this train moving. Keep these memories growing so that we can do what this city believes we can do. Whatever it takes.
And it's intercepted. Touchdown. Becker. Hill will get the kickoff. Was he hit? And the Eagles win.
This is our day because we're going to make it our day. We will stay together, and whatever it takes, let's make it.